So we have discussed the formation of perlite and the morphology and the growth in detail. Now we will discuss about the other the transformation. Suppose now you have a material with overall composition this much. This is the carbon concentration, say 0.4 or 0.6, say 0.6% carbon to okay 0.6. So now what will happen? How will the phase or microstructure evolve? Suppose here everything is austenite. So the moment you come here on this point, you will have some alpha. If you come here, let me erase this alpha plus gamma. So this is the line. Now you draw different tie lines. If you are at this temperature, so this is the composition of carbon in alpha. This is the composition of carbon in the austenite. So at this temperature, say this is T1. At T1, say this we call it C1 alpha. Say this composition we call it C1 alpha. Here we call it say C1 gamma, and overall composition is C. Say C0, we call it C0. Now at this temperature, what is the fraction of alpha? Fraction of alpha or say austenite, how can you find it out? Fraction of alpha will be if this is on this side, this by total, and this means C1 gamma minus C0 by C1 gamma minus C1 alpha. So C1 alpha. So this will give you the fraction. So this is, if it is in weight percentage, it is the weight fraction. If it is in atom fraction, atomic fraction. And similarly you can find the fraction of austenite will be, this is nothing but the lever rule. What will be the overall composition? C0 fraction of alpha into composition of alpha plus fraction of austenite into composition of austenite. This will be the overall composition. And fraction of alpha plus fraction of austenite has to be 1. Otherwise this lever rule is not applicable. It has to be 1. Both the fraction together, alpha and austenite has to be 1. So austenite will be given as this length. So this is C0 minus C1 alpha by C1 gamma minus C1 alpha. So if it is on alpha side, you take this in the numerator and the whole range is in the denominator. If you want to find out gamma, you take from the fulcrum left arm divided by total. For the right composition, for the left composition, right arm divided by total. So this is how you find the composition. Now if you see, this is we are considering a hypoeutectoid steel. For hypoeutectoid steel, as you cool it down, initially you form one alpha, then again you form alpha, again you form alpha, but the solubility of carbon is increasing. The concentration of carbon, the alpha forms here is having this composition of say carbon, which forms here having this composition. So throughout this alpha phase, if it is forming like this and growing like this, say, or forming different phases at different locations, the composition will change and it will reach a maximum at this 723 eutectile temperature. Because this is the maximum solubility, what will happen? Now austenite has higher concentration of carbon, which is 0.6 in this case. Now alpha is having only say this percentage of carbon, which is say, for example, it is say 0.01. From 0.06 to from 0.6 to 0.01, there is a huge difference. So when it forms, the first alpha forms from the austenite, now the surrounding, the percentage of carbon will increase. The percentage of carbon actually will increase when it. So if it is the alpha, the austenite is there, here the carbon percentage will increase. So the next phase, which is to nucleate, then it will also nucleate by removing the carbon, but it will not be able to remove the all carbon, so the percentage of carbon increases, say C1, C2, C3. So continuously it will increase. As a result, as the carbon is getting precipitated out to the gamma percentage of carbon is also increasing, and it reaches a maximum say eutectoid composition of 0.8%. So what will happen? Otherwise you see, this is FCC structure, this is BCC. FCC structure is compact structure. FCC should not have ideally more carbon than this at the same temperature. Alpha is BCC. BCC is not highest density structure. So but FCC, it is increasing because in FCC then the interstitial octahedral voids are bigger in size, so it can accommodate more carbon. In BCC you have say octahedral voids, you have 6. In FCC you have 4 per unit cell, so it has less, but these voids are bigger in size, so they can accommodate more carbon. So otherwise it would have been not possible for austenite to accommodate higher concentration of carbon. So you have alpha, you have a material, say these are the grain boundaries, so everything is austenite. Here you come to this temperature, say T1, what will you get? You will get some at the grain boundaries, generally you will get some alpha phase. So these are alpha phase, which is shown here. The composition may be from inside to outside, the composition may vary, but alpha generally maximum composition will be say 0.02%. Now if you see, the rest of the austenite will become eutectoid, it will become rich in carbon and it will reach in this point. Now once they reach this point, if it goes below, what will happen? Now these austenite from the grain boundaries, say this cementite will form and it will become say this perlatic. It will undergo a perlatic transformation. Perlatic means alpha plus Fe3C, because this is alpha, on that side you have Fe3C. So it will become lamellar structure of alpha and Fe3C. All the austenite will be gone. So this is how you have alpha, this is Fe3C, here you have again ferrite. So these alpha which which is nucleated or which was nucleated before you reach this eutectoid temperature, this is called pro-eutectoid alpha or say primary alpha. pro-ejected ferrite or primary ferrite. So now if you have suppose if you have an alloy with this composition, say 1% of carbon. So what kind of microstructure you will get? So in this case, what will happen? You have austenite. Say gamma, gamma, gamma. Everything here is austenite. The moment you come to this temperature, here you have cementite. So some cementite will start precipitating, and those cementite will precipitate on the grain boundaries. It is always the grain boundary unless you have some specific condition, because grain boundaries are the higher energy sites. So they will, so these are now Fe3C cementite, not alpha ferrite. So now if you come to this temperature, say like earlier, what will happen? Cementite you have here gamma plus Fe3C. So cementite you will have more and more cementite, but what will be the fraction of cementite? Say fraction of Fe3C, fraction of cementite will be, cementite is on this side and this side you have, this is the austenite line, this is the cementite line. So if you want to know the cementite percentage, this is the overall composition by using Lever rule, which is 1.0 minus 0.8 divided by 6.67 minus this 1.0. This fraction, you see, this is very less compared to this part. You have large volume of austenite. So this you have very small amount of cementite actually that will be precipitated on the grain boundaries, and when this precipitates the cementite, what will happen? They will take carbon, unlike earlier where alpha ferrite was releasing the carbon. Here they will take carbon atom from the surrounding material. So the austenite, you see, the carbon percentage in the austenite will drop, and when the carbon percentage in the austenite reaches this 0.8%, and you have cementite, but not large amount of cementite will be precipitated because volume fraction is less, but it will take out all the carbon from this austenite. And when the austenite will reach this eutectoid composition, again it will undergo this eutectoid reaction, like it will form pearlite. So now again you will have parallel plates, you will have different colonies, generally normal to the grain boundaries. So you can have different colonies, this lamellar spacing, these are called colonies. So you have alpha, you have Fe3C, the mechanism of this pearlite formation remains the same, you have to understand. So this is how you have Fe3C. So Fe3C is very brittle material, this is cementite, it has got the orthorhombic structure, and this is very undesirable. So you will hardly find this in real practice. Most of the steel materials that are in use actually having a carbon concentration less than 0.8%. Of course there are materials, but you have to do some special treatment in order to reduce this concentration. It makes the material brittle. Moreover, you are increasing the overall carbon percentage, so it will become more strong and more brittle. So it can nucleate cracking very easily in real application. So that is not desirable. So now I hope you understood this part, how this pro-ejected transformation takes place. I hope you have understood these things. Now we will discuss about bainite. So now we will discuss about binetic transformation. So binetic transformation, what happens? If you see this diagram, binetic transformation happens when you reach a point below this nose. This is your undercooling is very high. This is temperature is sufficiently low. You have, say, suppose you have 0.8% carbon steel again. You tectoid composition. So you should expect a parlytic kind of transformation. Here also the transformation is almost similar, but the difference is that in parlytic transformation, what we say, in the grain boundaries, initially the cemented nucleates, cemented nucleates first, and then growth occurs, and simultaneously you get ferrite also. But in this case, what happens? It is little bit different. So let us try to understand this. Suppose you come to a very low level of temperature. So your austenite, which has got 0.8% of carbon, now you go to a temperature where the austenite cannot have this amount of carbon. Say you are here somewhere. So how much carbon it can have, the austenite, is generally very less than. So what will it become? It will actually, austenite has FCC structure, and when you get this binetic structure, binetic is combination of alpha plus Fe3C. Only the morphology is different. So what happens? You come here, as your undercooling is very high, diffusion, which is equal to d0 into exponential of minus delta G d by kT, diffusion will become, which is proportional to, say, the growth rate is proportional to diffusion, d, diffusion coefficient. So it will drop if your undercooling is very high. So what will happen here? The austenite, here you have the austenite. Austenite cannot precipitate the carbon because diffusion is less. So it becomes, suppose there is a region something like this. So these are, and this region indicates the different preferential planes which are not parallel. That's why you have some inclined region. This region, suppose you have high concentration of gamma, it becomes alpha. High concentration of, so gamma becomes alpha with high concentration, say 0.8%, alpha with 0.8% carbon. Now this is ferrite. What will happen? This ferrite, which is having high concentration of carbon, this ferrite will try to remove this carbon to the interface between alpha and gamma, ferrite and austenite. So, and these boundaries, that means these boundaries are boundaries of alpha and ferrite on certain planes. So similarly, you may have a ferrite growing like this and supersaturated ferrite. Now the temperature, if it is upper bayanite, so this carbon, there will be very little diffusion. These are very thin, acicular structure. So this acicular structure, this will, carbon will go there from the inside and precipitate at the boundaries. So these are cementite, Fe3C, and you end up getting alpha inside ferrite. So ferrite nucleates first and then cementite gets precipitated between the alpha and austenite boundaries until all the alpha, all the austenite gamma becomes alpha. So you will have this feather like structure or acicular structure. So here you see temperature is less, the transformation temperature is less, so the carbon is diffusing but not much, it is diffusing very less distance from the alpha phase which is nucleated to the boundary of the alpha and austenite phase. So and this way the growth will continue, and here it will not be parallel, it will be like acicular structure. So this is what you have. So the structure will be, finally you will have a structure like this, you will have different types of inclined kind of structure. At the boundaries you have cementite. Similarly you can have one here, and these will be broken because diffusion is limited. So you have very short range diffusion, short range diffusion. So here you have inside alpha, these are Fe3, see the hole, and these are again the colonies, bainite colonies. So you have all the crystal structure will be converted to this kind of shape. Now what happens if your undercooling is high? Now if you say, if you are here, so if you are here, diffusion becomes even more difficult. So what will happen in, say, in that case, the lower bainite, if diffusion becomes more difficult, these carbon atoms which is to get deposited on the gamma 0.8%, which gets transformed to alpha 0.8, this alpha where you have the supersaturated carbon inside. Now they don't have that much of thermal activation because temperature is less, so that they can diffuse to the boundaries. So they cannot diffuse to the boundaries. So what happens? They diffuse inside. So you get different planes, but those planes are broken at some particular angle to the ferrite planes. So you end up getting, so generally it is for ejected steel, this angle is 55 degree. So this angle is with this plane. So here you have, these are called actually Fe 2.4 carbon. These are not actually cementite. These are transition carbide. These are carbide but having not similar composition like cementite. Little bit difference is there. So this is the difference. The carbon cannot diffuse out from the alpha phase to the interface. All the structure will be converted to, so like this. If we make a zoom view, you have you have alpha ferrite, this is the alpha, this is alpha, and here you have say Fe. This is also known as epsilon carbide. So this is how and this whole structure will be converted to this lower bainite, and this thickness will be even, the thickness will also be very less. So there the strength or the hardness increases. Now suppose if your cooling rate is very high, so you reach the martensite here. So how do you get martensite? This start line and finish line, it is similar like how do you get this start and finishing line. You quench it up to this point, quench it up to this point, quench it up to this point, you get quench to different temperatures, and you see the fraction of martensite. So from that, after certain temperature, you will not see any change in martensite, or all the austenite will be converted into martensite. Then you get this is how you get the start and finishing temperature. So the martensitic transformation, here martensitic transformation is diffusionless, because it is so fast, you don't give enough time for diffusion. Moreover, you don't have enough thermal activation also for diffusion. D will be very less, flux will be very less. So now the question is how the structure will be formed then. So now the question is how the structure will be formed if it is not diffusion. So we have explained that austenite has FCC structure. So FCC structure means, say, FCC structure means on the face you have atom, on each face you have atom. Here one, you have one, on the back you have one, on the bottom you have one, on the front also you have one, back side also you have one. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12, 1 2 3 4 4 4 8, and then 6 face 6. So this many atoms are there. Now if you take another unit cell, so you will have similar atoms there also. So on this face you will have one, on this face you will have another one. So now if you see this atom, this is one regular iron atom, these are Fe. So carbon atom will go to the octahedral position, and the octahedral positions are, say, this is one octahedral, and this is one octahedral, this is one octahedral. How it is octahedral? You see, this phase 1 2 3, you have on the top you have one, in front you have one, on this side also you have one. So you get a octahedral structure like this. So this is how you get the octahedral, and it will be shared by 4 units, 1 2 3 4 unit cell. So effectively you get 1/4. So this on each edge you will have one position of octahedral bursts, and in FCC in the center also you have one octahedral bursts, because this is one atom, bottom you have one, on the 4 faces you have 4 atoms. So it makes the another octahedral position. So anyway, now when this structure gets converted to, this is FCC, how it gets converted to BCT. BCT is this is martensite. Martensite is body centered tetragonal. So A equal to B, not equal to C. So here suppose this is unit cell, one unit cell A. So all are same, A, this parameter A. The length of all the sides will be same. Now if you consider one unit cell, considering, let me use another color. Now suppose you consider a unit cell like this. The drawing is, in drawing it may not look very perfect, but these sides will be parallel. And then similarly you have another, this. So you get, so you had one Boyd position here, here, here also, octahedral Boyds. But now you see, you get the, this is what is your BCT structure. This is one parameter, say A1, this is another parameter, say A2, and C is this parameter, say this is C. So this A1, A2 and C, these are the different lattice parameters. These A1 and A2 are almost similar in size, and actually they get expanded by almost 12% during martensitic transformation, and the C axis gets contracted by almost 20%. As a result, the C by A ratio decreases to 1.04 for 0.8% carbon steel, which is a characteristic value for martensitic crystal. This is how you get the BCT structure in the FCC. If your cooling rate is very high, you don't get any diffusion. No atom is diffusing from one position to another. This is only just like little bit of distortion taking place. And this is a this is how this without diffusion martensite is formed. So I hope you have understood this. So when the martensitic transformation takes place, so here, so you have, say earlier you had everything austenite, so the martensite will look like something like this kind of structure. So in the, so these are different BCT, these are different BCT phases, these all these things are. So I hope you understood this.